So never mind the craziness of the beard. I am shocked. I am shocked that I did not know about this before because this is the absolute craziest villain that I have ever read about. And of course, it's in my own state of Oklahoma. This is this is something that happened in 2014, and I think the entire state, if not the entire country, was neuralized because the leaders in Oklahoma said this is just too powerful. This man is too powerful to contain. We have to wipe the system. I don't remember hearing anything about this guy that we're about to talk about, which is crazy because I love crime. I'm not a criminal, but I like to watch crime shows and I love to listen to crime podcasts. But this is one of those cases that I've never heard about. The only reason I did hear about it is because Critical talked about it on his stream yesterday, and it blew my mind because it was in Oklahoma. This is some grade A Florida man stuff that happened here in the heartland. And the only thing I can think of is Florida and Oklahoma must not be that too different. I grew up here. I can tell you with 100% fact that Oklahoma is known for meth and hillbillies. And I think that the Florida man origin came from people moving from Oklahoma to Florida and then had offspring. And those offspring are what Florida man is all about. That's why you have the bath salts with the zombie bath salt stuff. And to that point, that's probably the craziest story I ever heard. Next to this guy is the Florida Gate bath salt zombie face eater. But this guy, he is the ultimate boss. He is the super boss of villains. And I'm not making light of the somebody died. And I'm not making light of that. That's horrible. Full stop. But the way he died and what this guy did is probably the goofiest, funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Let's take a look. Let's look at this. Look at this. So we have here the ultimate raid boss of Oklahoma. This guy, Bradley Davis, he is dubbed the Atomic Wedgie Killer. And this happened in 2013. Like I said, I think everybody was neuralized because I never even heard of this. And I keep up on weird crap like this all the time. And I had to hear it from Critical Stream yesterday. So this Oklahoma man, this Oklahoma legend, he got sentenced to 30 years for asphyxiating his stepfather with an atomic wedgie. Think about that for a second. Think of how the logistics of that works. This dude must have been wearing the most stretchable underwear in the world. I don't understand it. So apparently, him and his stepdad, Denver Lee St. Clair, him and his stepdad were drunk, obviously, and they started fighting. I guess his stepdad says something about Brad's mom, and Brad lost his temper. Uh, and he pulled his underwear over his head and around his neck and strangled him. This is straight out of Nickelodeon. You can't make that up. James Patterson himself couldn't come up with this idea in a plot. He left ligature marks on the victim, according to the police. The medical examiner stated the cause of death was blunt force trauma and asphyxiation. I don't know where the blunt force trauma comes from. He probably hit himself in the head because he knew he was going to die, and that was probably just, I don't understand that. But like I said, death is no joke. Death is horrible. Doesn't matter what it is. But think about this for a second. This dude's going to be in prison for 30 years. I mean, he's already in prison. He got sent to prison in 2014. Yep. He was initially charged in 2014. Oh, he was initially charged with first degree murder in 2014 and pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter in May. I gotcha. So he was sentenced late on Thursday to 30 years in prison. So he was in 30 years in prison. So he's in prison now. Can you imagine being in prison and being known for the atomic wedgie killer? You can't go to the biggest, baddest dude in the yard and try to claim that spot for yourself whenever you are the atomic wedgie killer. You are going to be forever on the bottom of the pole, figuratively and probably literally. And whenever this dude gets out, you best believe nobody around him is going to be wearing underwear. I would not. This guy should, whenever he gets out, whenever he gets paroled or gets out or whatever, they need to make it illegal for him to be within 1,000 feet of underwear. This is nuts. So he knocked out his stepfather, pulled the elastic band of underwear around his head and around his neck. I have lived here for the last 35 years, minus a few years. And I am speechless. I cannot believe that this was not known. I cannot believe that this never once passed through my ears. This is the best and worst thing that it's bad for the stepdad for being killed, but this is the most insane, wacky goofball I have ever seen. And I just had to talk about it because I'm late. I'm 10 years late to this party, and it's still like I am just words cannot describe how infuriating it is that I did not know about this way back then. I've never heard of this, and this is the best thing in the world. This is the ultimate Oklahoman. If you want to know what Oklahoma's about, yeah, the atomic wedgie. That's what it is. That is 100%.